Hey everyone, the Bay Area shutdown has been extended for one more month and there's no word on when salons can reopen, so we're going to focus on the next step in your at-home hair care today, women's cuts. I'm going to take a layered haircut and break it down into easy step-by-step directions so you can follow along at home. We do have a separate tutorial video on bangs, so we're not going to cover bangs today. This haircut is best done with a buddy. If you're quarantined by yourself, this might be a little tricky to follow along with. What you're going to need today is a clip, a comb, and of course your shears. Hairdressing shears are best, but if you don't have them, try to go for a thin, sharp shear, not something bulky. You'll notice that my model has dry hair. That is only because it's an acrylic wig and it doesn't handle water very well. You're gonna want wet hair. So go wash your hair and then we'll dive right into the cut. Start by sectioning the front from the back, using your ear as the halfway point. In back, section off all the hair except for the bottom inch. Choose your desired length and then have your model tilt her head down slightly, then cut straight across the section. Be sure to go nice and slow and make sure your cut is perfectly straight. This section will be your guide for the entire haircut. Pull down your next section, making sure it's thin enough to see your guide underneath. Then follow your guide and cut this section to the same length. Repeat these steps until you've cut the entire back section. Once you finish the back, we're going to repeat this process in the front. Use your back length as a guide and slowly work your way up the front sections until the entire haircut is the same length. Stand in front of your model and double check that both sides are even. If you'd like your front pieces to angle around your face, section off the entire front piece except for the bottom inch. Angle your fingers from the bottom length up to where you want the shortest pieces to fall. Then cut a line between those 2 points.
Be very careful not to cut too high because it's very easy to end up with an accidental mullet. Always start slowly and build up gradually. Once you've cut your angle, lay down the next section of hair thin enough to still see your guide and cut along the same line. Repeat this process all the way up the front section. Repeat this process on the other side and then stand in front of your model to double check that both sides are cut evenly. A word of warning before we continue. At this point, the entire hairline is now off limits, front, back, and sides. Do not cut anything within ½ inch of the hairline or you will make a hole in the haircut and your only option will be to make the entire haircut shorter. That said, let's move on to layering. Layering is used to create softness and movement in a cut. It also removes bulk and gets rid of the dreaded triangle shape in thick hair. To begin, take a thin vertical section from the top of the head down to the nape of the neck. Be sure to drop the bottom ½ inch so you don't accidentally cut a hole. Then pull the section straight out from the head. Right now you're searching for the point of weight. This is where the hair juts out farther than the other pieces in the section. Cut off the point of weight. Work your way up the section, dropping the lower strands of hair as you go. As you move up, keep searching for the point of weight and removing it. When you reach the top of the head, you should now be holding the section completely vertically. Use this section as your new guide and continue around the head until the entire back is layered. Repeat this layering process in the front and be extra careful to drop the ½ inch around the hairline before you start cutting. For fine hair, drop up to a full inch for extra protection. It's very easy to accidentally make a hole when you're cutting around the ear. Now we're going to connect the layers from each side. This ensures that we followed our guide on both sides, and it blends the layers if your model decides to part her hair differently. To do this, lift sections from either side of the part and trim the ends to make them even. If one side is much longer than the other, it means you did not properly follow your guide when you cut your layers. Go back and repeat the layering process on the longer side. Continue along the part line until you reach the back of the head. Our final step is making sure we have a smooth transition from front to back. Take thin sections from the front hairline to the back of the head and pull them straight up. Look for any jagged or bumpy areas and trim the ends to make them smooth. Repeat this process across the entire head. Try to avoid any deep cuts. This step is just to smooth over any rough edges. And that's it! You made it through a layered haircut. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, you can find us on Instagram at foundations_hair and makeup.